talk about the issues.
I know that the 2022 elections is a very important elections.
Dumating na tayo sa punto na hindi na natin kayang ipagsawalang bahala na lamang ang mga nangyayari sa ating gobyerno, sa ekonomiya.
The process.
If we delay the end of voter registration, it will also cause corresponding delays in all other preparatory activities.
The events of the past 6 years.
Yung mga pasangganong sagot, nabili na yan, kumita na yan noong 2016.
The promises that were made.
Let me say clearly that those who betrayed the people's trust shall not go unpunished.
The candidates, their qualifications, background, and experience.
Di biro-biro ang mga pagsubok na haharapin ng susunod na administrasyon.
Mahirap magsalita ngayon.
Everything's possible.
And the trust that needs to be earned. I'm Pia Ontiveros. This is Politics as Usual. And we are back on air after a month-long hiatus, and we're on weekly. So let's meet here Tuesday evenings, 8:30 p.m. for your regular political appointment fix. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how hyped are you for the elections now that we just witnessed a parade of politicians filing their certificates of candidacy all week long last week? Of course, we know there may still be some dramatic shifts, changes of tsunamic proportions, last-minute substitutions that the law allows to take place until November 15. So we will be waiting for a whole month, but this is what we know so far. This partial list of aspirants: Bato de la Rosa, Ping Lacson and Tito Soto, Bongbong Marcos, Isko Moreno and Doc Willie Ong, Manny Pacquiao and Lito Atienza, Leny Robredo and Kiko Pangilinan, and Bongo. What are the possibilities, the scenarios? Who should slide down, throw in the towel, go for broke, and why are there even placeholders? Now, for this first segment of the show, let's speak to a retired University of the Philippines professor of political science, Temi Rivera. Good evening, Professor Temi, and welcome to Politics as Usual. Well, let's begin with this. What do you think of all these matchups? Of course, you're going to be looking at all these through the lens of, like we said, a political science professor. All these matchups, Bato, Ping and Tito, Bongbong Marcos, wala pang running mate, Isko, Doc Willie, Manny Pacquiao, and Lito Atienza, Leny, Kiko, Bongo. What do you think of all of them and the team-ups so far?
Okay, I think we've basically seen the major players, those running for the presidency, in place, but with a major puzzle, no, unresolved puzzle hanggang ngayon, and that is the official candidate of the what we may call the Duterte camp, as represented by the Kusi faction of the PDP Laban, no? Now, of course, we all know that General De La Rosa, Bato De La Rosa, filed for the presidency, but most most observers do not believe that this is a serious candidacy. And since last-minute replacements are still possible up to November 15, it appears that General Senator De La Rosa is what we call a placeholder. And from the Duterte camp, I think the main option is still that of Mayor Sara, although we also know that as of today anyway, Mayor Sara has rejected all offers so far not to run for the presidency. Now, that creates quite a problem because if Mayor all the public opinion surveys so far have shown Mayor Sara to be leading at this point, of course, in the campaign, although we should also point out that the last public opinion poll surveys in September did not yet reflect the formal candidacy of Vice President Leny Robredo and the extraordinary energy that she has shown in proclaiming her candidacy, which I believe has energized not only her core supporters, but many other people who have been long waiting for her candidacy.
Professor, can you tell us more about your thoughts about Leny? You've said that she has a proven national electorate base because she's won. Well, of course, she's won as VP. Compared to the others on this list, some of them, well, one or two of them have run for national office for president, no? But, well, president and VP. Pero iba pa rin ang experience ni Leny.
Yes. Well, the Vice President Leny has a number of strengths, of course, compared to the other candidates. I think one is among the declared candidates, she has shown a proven national electoral base and a one-on-one campaign in the vice presidency. And while it is true that Senators Ping Lacson and Manny Pacquiao and former Senator Bongbong also won in a national electoral contest, iba pa rin yung sa vice presidency compared with winning as one of the 12 senators. So it's possible, of course, one can argue that many, if not most of the voters of Leny in 2016 are unlikely to vote for either a Marcos or a Duterte. So isang initial capital that she could build on. No? But there's also a major difference in 2016, however, and this is the fact that Leny Robredo then ran with the ruling party in 2016, that's right, no? As vice president. So we all know that the Liberal Party, of which she is the chair, has lost a lot of its organizational strength and resources. So that's one major concern of Vice President Leny.
Professor, can you talk to us about this? No, because a lot of people, well, year in year out, every election time, we always talk about this. No, how we wished we had primaries para hindi masyadong maraming kandidato. So, syempre, the next question is, if you could choose, no, sino ba dapat ang mag-slide down or sinong dapat umatras na lang para mas maliit, mas konti ang pagpipilian ng mga kandidato para nga we don't, end up having another minority president or, ang hirap, you divide votes among 6 to 7 candidates and you're not too sure anymore, no, about the strength of your winner. Sino dapat ang umatras? Sino dapat ang mag-match up? And I ask this question because the context here is that in the month leading up to filing of COC, syempre there was that attempt to get Leny together with Manny, Ping, and Isko to hopefully unite. But of course, that didn't happen. So what is it that you want to see, sana?
Well, it seems unlikely that all of those who have declared so far, with the possible exception of Senator De La Rosa, dahil mukhang placeholder nga lang siya, no? But it's unlikely that those who have declared will step down. Historically, that it's not surprising the number 5 or 6. Historically, since 1992, yan naman talagang average number of serious candidates. Bagamat umaabot ng ano na ba yung last count? 80, 90 declared candidates, but ultimately ang serious lang naman talaga dyan, 5 or 6, no? And unfortunately, that's the way our electoral system works, unlike in the US, as you pointed out, where you have a strong two-party system, meron pang primary system. Dito ibang-iba kahit sino, as long as you qualify, as long as you meet the basic constitutional requirements, pwede kang mag-apply, no? So one problem with that, as you also pointed out, is that we always end up with a plurality president, meaning a president who does not
Yes.
command the majority electoral support of the citizenry, no? And if you
Yeah.
combine that with a very weak party system, many of the problems of governance are also rooted there because, again, as we all know,
Right.
whoever is the new president succeeds in forcing a realignment of political forces, no? Dahil wala namang party loyalty or
Right.
identity sa atin, no? And which also leads,
That's right. That's right.
moreover, which further accentuates the already very strong powers of the office of the presidency, no?
Right, right. That's right. What we have is after every election, kung ano yung partido ng pangulo, ng nanalong pangulo, yan ang nagiging party
That's
in
right,
power.
yeah.
I wish we had more time, but thank you so much, Professor Temi Rivera. Balik na lang po kayo, ha, sir. We'd love
Yes,
to
yes.
speak to you again. Salamat po, sir.
Thank you, Pia. Okay.
Now, what do public relations experts and, veteran and retired advertising executives think of the initial list of aspirants and many more? Politics as usual. We'll find out after a short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to your regular political appointment. You're still watching Politics as Usual here on CNN Philippines. In this part of the show, veteran but retired advertising executive, an old friend, Yoli Ong, joining us. Yoli, hi. You don't look retired kasi nakapink ka.
Dahil lang sa kulay yan ng TV mo.
Ay, ganon. So naka-red ka pala. But anyway, well, Yoli, let's begin with this. Let's try and go very quickly, all of these. What do you think of all these matchups, all these presidential, vice presidential candidates? Yung mga seryoso, yung mga sa major political parties so far, in spite of the fact that you're wearing pink. So you set aside yung pink mo. Sige.
Hindi, pag 97 naman ang kandidato, Pia, ano pa naman ang iisipin mo kung hindi talagang it's a regular circus, di ba? Pagpalagay mo na yung anim lang ang ating mga seryosong
Yung
kandidato
anim lang,
talaga. Even six is too many. Ngayon, from an advertising point of view, parang yan, isipin mo, kung anim na shampoo ang naglalaban, ang hirap i-differentiate, di ba? Ano yung pipiliin mo kung pare-pareho ang sinasabi, kung pare-pareho ang ino-offer. But in this particular case, kaya nga ang parati kong sinasabi, may PhD ka sa marketing pag humawa ka ng political candidate. Because a product will not give you headaches kung meron silang nasabing mali o nagawang mali. Pero ang kandidato, pag hinahandle mo tapos may nagawang mali, nasabing mali, nahuling may ginagawang mali, yan. Diyan matitest ang iyong skills as a communications advisor.
Yeah. Yoli, at the moment, who has got the best packaging and the best messaging? I know it's too early in the game because we still have November 15 to contend with, no? Pero sa ngayon, tingin mo?
Alam mo, kung titignan mo lang ang advertising at hindi mo namang kilala, halimbawa hindi mo kilala yung mga personalities, advertising lang ang tignan mo. From a professional point of view, maganda yung ads ni Isko, for example. Very well made, very well crafted. But you see, pag masyadong makinis din ang advertising mo, makukumpara yan pagka hindi na yung ad, pagka nag-a-adlib ka na, ika nga. So, sometimes, may backlash din yun. Kung masyadong makinis yung iyong advertising, pagkatapos pagka nahuli ka, inambush interview ka, lalabas yung totoong kalibre mo, no? Sa pagsasalita, sa pag-persuade sa audience, etc. So, from a professional point of view, there are really some very well-made ads. And some of them are Iskos.
Okay.
Must say.
Okay. So, and kung maganda yung ads ni Isko, Sino naman who needs help among these 6?
Well, alam mo, yung iba hindi pa naman nag-a-add eh. Di ba? Si Leny, wala pang
Or no,
ad
at
na
least yung pag
nilalabas
nagsasalita.
hanggang ngayon.
Oo.
Lahat,
Pero,
lahat
pero she's all over social media.
correct.
I mean,
And these
because
are
her
all
supporters,
organic.
post
These
about
are
her all the
done-
time, no? So, oo.
These were done by her supporters. Makikita mo authentic commitment yung mga supporters niya. So nakakabilib rin yun. Because for me, I've been in advertising, so I can tell when the ad is very authentic. And that is super authentic. Yung mga ginagawa ng mga supporters niya. Kasi alam ko wala pa siyang ginagawa kahit isa na talagang galing sa kampo niya.
Yeah.
So lahat yan ginagawa ng
Okay,
mga
oo.
supporters niya. And it's very, nakakagulat
Pero of course, di ba,
talaga.
pag organic supporters, volunteers, syempre, you still need a very strong advertising person to put all of that together. Kasi hindi naman pwedeng parang kalat yung messaging, no? Iba-iba yung sinasabi. I mean, nga, they're all for Leny, pero kung ganon, tapos hindi siya well orchestrated, mahirap din, hindi ba?
Oo naman. Meron talagang, you can take the point of view of letting 1,000 flowers bloom, or you can take a more disciplined approach to communications. Sa ngayon, dahil ang dami-daming ang kandidato, kailangan talaga very clear ang iyong proposition. Ika nga, yun nga yung what will differentiate you from the rest. Of course, hindi lang naman advertising ang tinitignan eh. Tinitignan ng track record, tinitignan ng character, hindi ba? And on those two aspects alone, malaki na ang differentiation among the 6.
Yeah. Leny, by November 15, yung deadline nga ng substitution, withdrawal, etc., what do you want to see? No? Do you want to see some of these 6 or so names sliding down or withdrawing their candidacies? Do you want to see a more united opposition? Ano ba yung, kumbaga, yung fearless forecast mo for November 15? Ano bang gusto mo makita?
Alam mo, Pia, I really wish na magkumonte at mag-consolidate, di ba? That's really the best thing that can happen. But if you look at history, wala pa naman tayong election na there has been less than 5 serious candidates. Tingnan mo, all the way from FVR, parating may 5 na kandidato. Hindi na kumonti yan ever. What I'd like to see is actually ang gusto kong makita talaga is shared ideologies, shared principles, shared beliefs na magti-team up. Kasi right now, puro personalidad ang ang ginagamit, no? It's all personality driven, and then papasok yung surveys, so yung numero is another aspect. Pero wala pa rin talagang nag-o-offer ng clear vision na anong gusto mong mangyari sa Pilipinas kung sakaling ikaw ang maging presidente. Yan ang hinahanap ko, at yan din sana ang kung halimbawa pareho ng vision ang dalawang kandidato, sana magsama sila para hindi ganun karami na alam mo naman na yung iba naman will just fall by the wayside. That always happens. Yung iba talaga exercise lang eh. It's an parang rehearsal. Rehearsal lang sa pagkampanya.
Dry run. But of course, well, we're all hoping, I guess, the same thing. Yoli Ong, thank you so much for joining us, and balik ka on the show. Maraming salamat. We'll be taking a short break. This is Politics as Usual on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. We're on the final stretch of Politics as Usual. I'm Pia Ontiveros. Now we speak with public relations practitioner Ron Habal of Page One, another old friend of mine. Ron, dati nagkasama na tayo sa House of Representatives, kaya sanay na tayo sa mga politiko, mga kongresista, alam na natin yon. But of course, like I said, no, PR is your expertise and I'm sure you have a lot to say. So my first question is, what do you think of these matchups? Huwag na natin pag-usapan yung 90-plus candidates. Let's train our eyes on the top six, no? Well, top six, the what we consider the serious contenders. And as far as you're concerned, who's got the best messaging and the best packaging so far? We know it's early on in the game because we have the November 15 deadline. But so far, what do you think?
Sa aming pananaw bilang PR practitioner, professional, no, it's very difficult to determine the rhyme and reason for some of the tandem, di ba? Kasi may mga tandem na hindi mo maintindihan bakit sila nag-tandem kasi hindi mo in-expect na silang magiging tandem. May, for instance, President and Vice President tandem na may pagkasulungat sa kanilang mga ideology or mga statements in the past. So hindi mo maintindihan, bakit sila ang nag-tandem ngayon? Meron din, titingnan mo na kung naniniwala ka sa numero at dapat maniwala ka, dapat ang tandem ay tamang-tama at swak na swak sila sa isa. Kung saan malakas yung isa, dapat doon naman sa kabila, yung kanyang katandem, yun ang dapat suportahan niya yung kung saan mahina yung kanyang presidente o vice president. That's why may mga tandem na parang hindi masyadong pinag-isipan ng mabuti yung pagtatandem na yun. No? So yun yung nakikita kong parang kaiba dito sa pagtatandem na ito. Parang it's almost like a marriage of convenience, so to speak.
So are you hoping na may magbabago na baka pwedeng yung iba mag-slide down, good luck na lang sa ego nila, parang ganon, or yung iba mag-withdraw ng candidacy nila or what? What are you hoping to see before November 15 or on November 15?
Given past experiences, parang taga sa bato, no? Pero syempre yung hope mo nandun pa rin. Kung mapapansin mo, yung pagkandidato ni Leny at saka ni Vice President Leny at saka ni Mayor Isko, parang hindi na yun magkakaayos, no? Pero hanggang ngayon, wala pa ring statement si Manny Pacquiao on whether unity is still possible. Wala tayo nakikita na sinasabi niya na nagkatapos na sila doon. So, hindi ko alam. So, nakikita natin may mga tandem na pwedeng magbago pa. Meron naman mga tandem na talagang parang joke-joke lang kasi sabi nga ng iba, placeholder, no? So, bench warmer, kung ano man. At nakikita natin na may mga pwedeng makalusot, di ba? Usong-uso naman sa term sa politika ang mga pwedeng madenggoy na naman tayo. May posibilidad na may pwede pang magbago by November 15.
Okay, so you're hoping for who to match to end up as a tandem? Can you be very clear on that?
I'm hoping that there will still be some people who will slide, provided they speak a little deeper in terms of winnability. Because sa election naman ang dapat tinitingnan ay hindi lang nakaka-appeal sa mga nakakaintindi. Sabi ko nga, dapat ang eleksyon tinitingnan yung botong nakakapagpaniwala o kaya yung botong nakakapagpapanalo. So sa PR, dapat tignan mo, alin ba yun? Anong mensahe, anong agenda yung pwede mong masabi sa mga tao na, uy, paniwalaan mo ako kasi ito yung agenda ko. Pero meron din dapat sinasabing mensahe na dapat appeals to the voters themselves. So, feeling ko may chance pang pwedeng mangyari.
Okay, and can you be clear sino yung tandem na gusto mo makita? Can you name them?
Sige, if I can name them, I think, because the Vice President Leny Robredo and Isko have already kind of like a little bit of a brick brat from time to time. So, if you also see the numbers, and I think based on the numbers that were given by Pulse Asia, crucial is if Senator Grace Poe endorses Leny, and Leny tandems with Manny Pacquiao, they have a big chance of competing with the Sara Bongbong Marcos tandem. So that is a big boost of numbers because pag makita mo ang numbers ni Senator Grace Poe is still bigger than Vice President Leny. No? So if she can transfer some of the votes and then they can join because Manny Pacquiao is very, very big in the East sector and And Leny is also big in that one, but she needs some pull from the ABC, which Senator Grace has. So if that is possible, then there seems some hope there.
Yeah, well, you haven't talked about, and we have 30 seconds to go. You haven't talked much about Bongbong Marcos.
Well, Bongbong Marcos has been campaigning since 2016. He's been cleaning up his image. And in fact, if you ask me, unfortunately, he's the best. He has the best campaign so far because a lot of the people have actually forgotten already what they've done in the past. And you just have to see some of the TikTok videos, of the social media videos, very polished. And that's why the numbers are there. Because how can you explain the high numbers if people kind of like remember what they did in the past? And because Bongbong Marcos he's been preparing. So if Bongbong pairs up with Mayor Sara Duterte, that is a very difficult to beat tandem.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight on the show, Politics as Usual. Ron Habal, like I told Yoli and Professor Tammy, balik ka ha. Salamat. We've been told before, don't talk politics at the dinner table or the family reunion or in Viber groups even, and risk digital warfare. But we can talk about it here on this show, your weekly political appointment fix, Politics as Usual. I'm Pia Ontiveros. See you back here next Tuesday, 8:30 p.m.